Welcome to the Worst of the Riot Extra podcast for this week. Hudson and Isaiah with you. Our theme today, all about vacations, because everybody about to take their Christmas vacation, of course, your holiday time off. But the real ones know you got to start planning your 2024 vacation time in 2023. You got to start mapping it out right now. Or do you? Isaiah, what's your strategy?
I've been planning the past. I actually already have 2 trips for sure locked in for 2024. I have a Florida trip.
Yep.
That's coming up very quickly. Already have the flight for that one. I've got an Arizona trip in the middle of the summer. Already locked in. Actually, I have another trip. I also have another trip to Florida.
Oh, wow.
Locked in. And then I'm working on a trip to Seattle again.
So, what is it that motivates you to plan these ahead of time so early when it's not even next year yet?
The cheap flights.
Oh, that's what it's all about.
Well, one of them's a bachelor party, so I didn't even have to plan that.
Yeah, that's not
I'm just
on
in
you.
it.
Yep.
And then another one is a family vacation to Tucson. So yet again, not me.
Yep.
But the other Florida one, that was my planning. Seattle one, my planning. And then I'm trying to squeeze in at least one more big trip.
Do you have a schedule of your vacations where you try to get a vacation or some time off every certain amount of time? Is that important to you?
Yes. I'm trying this year to do something once a month.
Oh, wow. That's ambitious.
But you have to be. If I said 3 times a year, I would go twice or maybe once. But if you say you want to go on a trip every month or do some sort of travel every month, then you'll probably do travel like 6 months.
Yeah.
6 times.
I mean, you think about the average person, I think at minimum would probably get like 2 weeks of paid time off, like 10 days worth of paid time off a year, right?
Yeah.
So 10 days, there's 12 months. You can use 1 day per month and then still have like Christmas and Thanksgiving or something along those lines where, you're getting a day off of work. I guess my question was, maybe more accurately, do you try to do it so that some people might try to plan their vacation days so that they work the least amount of days possible? Some people might plan it so that once a month, like it sounds like you do, that you have something planned.
And for me, it's not even always taking a day off work. Like this past weekend, I went on a trip and I didn't take a day off work.
So you count that.
Oh, for sure. That was for sure a little mini vacation.
I don't know if I count that for myself.
I stayed in a hotel.
If I was going to go on an overnight little stay over the weekend, I don't know if I'd count that.
See, I count that as for sure a vacation because this whole month I've been looking forward to it. And it's not always about like when you're there, how incredible it is. A lot of times it's just the buildup. The best part about me, like I have a vacation coming up in a month. The vacation is going to be fun. It's going to be relaxing. We're not going to do anything crazy.
Yep.
But the whole month leading up to it, I am excited. It's getting me through work every day. That's what really makes a vacation great.
That is true. The planned, the scheduled, sleeping in a different bed, waking up at a different time, just getting out of your regular routine. It is exciting. It's something to look forward to. Eating at a different restaurant.
Yeah, you don't have to go to Los Angeles or Miami or Hawaii for it to be a vacation. I think if you go anywhere and stay in a hotel for a weekend, it's a weekend getaway, whether it's an hour drive, 2-hour drive, flight, I think that counts as a little vacation.
I like
because
that.
If you're not counting those, then like you're never like going to truly have a bunch of vacations. A bunch of mini rewards are great.
Yeah, that is true. Just spread it out. Yeah, give you a little motivation, a little jazz in your step.
Anything can be special.
Yeah.
An hour trip where you stay in a hotel can be just as special as going to Hawaii.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. So often, though, your trips, your whatever, you're taking time off, is built around holidays. If we could have one more bonus holiday, that's actually a holiday. You can't just pick a day. You can't just say August 12th. I wish we had that off every year. What's a holiday that we do not currently get off that you think maybe you can include significance of the holiday a little bit, but more it's about, I wish there was a holiday then. I wish we got this day off because I always would do something then or whatever. And to, I guess, lay the groundwork, we get Martin Luther King Jr. Day off. We get Memorial Day off. We get July 4th if it's not on the weekend. We get Labor Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's if they aren't on weekends. What would you add in there?
That's a good question. I think one of the big ones for me that would be beneficial is if I could have my birthday. And I don't want to just have my birthday.
Okay.
Because if my birthday's on a Wednesday, I don't want that day off. I want it to be where I can pick the Friday or Monday of my birthday weekend.
Oh, yeah?
I want to have that off. That's my holiday that I'd like to have off.
I don't know if that counts.
Because it's right in the middle of the summertime. Mine is. For you, it might stink if you have a birthday at a crappy time.
Yeah.
Mine is in the middle of July. So I could plan a whole vacation around that day. A whole weekend trip.
Yeah.
Around that day. If they give me the Friday, I get to choose Friday or Monday of my birthday weekend. It's my birthday. Why can't I have my birthday off? Feels like such a little ask.
Yeah. Yeah, but nobody really gets their birthday off, though. There's very few workplaces where that's a thing. So that'd be a big ask.
But it feels at the same time like your birthday to you is more important than a lot of the other holidays.
That is true. It's more significant to you than, I don't know, as an example.
Go ahead and give one, Hudson.
Yeah.
Go ahead and degrade a holiday.
Well, I was going to say.
Would you like to lead with President's Day?
I listed off the holidays that we get off. There's been at least one comment thrown around that possibly in the future we may get Juneteenth off. Now, I'd obviously be very grateful for that, and the significance of that holiday is important. If I was choosing a holiday based off of how it would benefit me, that's not the one I'd choose, but that's simply because it's 2 weeks away from two other holidays. Whereas we go from Martin Luther King Jr. Day to Memorial Day, like 5 months without a scheduled holiday day off. And thus, I would have to choose Easter.
Easter. Interesting choice.
Or I guess Good Friday, because I think I'd rather have Good Friday than the Monday after Easter. So I wish we had Good Friday off every year. I think that'd be nice.
It's a good choice.
And that would be different every time of year. But then, a lot of times that's a good vacation time. Obviously, a lot of times that's when spring break comes up for people as well. I would think almost always. And yeah, there's the weather's not, you could make a lot out of that, forgetting obviously the religious significance of it. And I know a lot of workplaces, well, I don't know about a lot. Some workplaces do the floating holiday where you get like a certain amount of days that you can pick and choose different holidays that are not off for everybody, but it could be off for you. How do you think you would appreciate that?
I would love a floating holiday. One that you can choose.
Yeah. See, your birthday wouldn't be eligible as a floating holiday.
Ridiculous.
So then which holiday would you choose if you got one floating holiday to make you actually answer the question that I feel like I asked?
See, mine would all depend on the people around me.
Yeah.
I don't care for days off. Like for me, it's like if I have Good Friday off and nobody else has Good Friday off, what does that mean for me?
Yeah.
It means nothing. I'm going to hang out at home and not do anything, which is nice to relax, and I do appreciate that. But for me, it would be, I would ask my family, do you have this holiday off? Because if so, then I could actually do something.
Oh, yeah.
I don't take a lot of holidays just to relax, to lay down, which I probably should. But I would rather have the holiday that RadioU doesn't give us, that every other workplace does.
Which is, I don't know. At this time,
I don't know which one it would be.
At this time, I'm looking at the list of federal holidays. Apparently, Washington's birthday, in other words, President's Day. That's the third Monday in February. That's nice because that's a Monday.
Yeah. The locked in Monday.
Also, yet again, Juneteenth is recently a national holiday, or a federal holiday, I guess you could say. But that one obviously could fall on a weekend. Columbus Day / as
that's
far
a good one.
Federally goes, that also is that's a big one because that would be my second choice after Easter.
October 14th,
it's
buddy.
also kind of a dead time because it's between Labor Day, then you go all of September, all of October, most of November without a holiday. So it'd be nice to have that off.
That's a good one.
It's also the same day as Thanksgiving, Canadian Thanksgiving, and the same day, oftentimes, or at least around the time of my birthday. So that'd be a good second choice.
That's a good choice.
And then Veterans Day, November 11th every year. I didn't know that wasn't. I guess I'm sorry about this. I always thought it was on like a Monday. I didn't realize sometimes it could fall on the weekend. It's the same date every year.
It is. So yeah, for those ones, I would say whatever everybody else has off, I want off. That way I can hang out and do something.
I don't care about that as much. I'll tell you why. Because if I knew I have a floating holiday, let's say I can get Columbus Day off, then I always know that I can have I can go have a long weekend trip on Columbus Day, or maybe tack on one more vacation day and then make like a real trip out of it. So I think that the floating holiday, I wouldn't care what everybody else is doing.
Yeah, but that's different because you and your wife can plan that.
Yeah.
I don't have a wife, so nobody's taking off days with me.
Yeah, that's right. If you just have to go solo, then that's a good question too. Have you ever done any solo travel?
Have I vacationed somewhere by myself?
Yeah.
I have never went anywhere alone. I have flown alone before, but I've never arrived and been alone at a hotel room and like went out and saw the city and things like that.
See, although you did live solo for a while.
Yeah.
I haven't really done solo travel outside of like job interviews and stuff like that where I'm in a city by myself. So it's been very rare. But to me, like, not that I want to leave my wife behind, but the idea of going on a vacation solo, it doesn't like that sounds fun to me. That sounds like a good time.
Yeah, it would depend on where I went.
I don't think for me it would depend. I think I'd be happy
Heading
anywhere.
to Detroit.
I just figure
send them up there.
Yeah, I would just enjoy the time to just completely do what I want to do and explore whatever town area I'm in, and probably not get a whole lot done, but I just be milling around the town.
See, mine would be there's certain places that I think I could go alone and have a good time, and then I feel like if I went to Las Vegas by myself, that would not be a place I would want to go alone. For the mere fact
you need an accountability partner.
And I feel like I'm wasting money in a trip that would be so much more fun if I had other people.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, why would I go to Las Vegas alone if I could spend the same amount of money and go with my friends and be way more fun?
Yeah.
But if I went to, like, Philadelphia or something by myself, where I could go around and see all of the monuments and do all different stuff, the Liberty Bell, things like that. Same thing with Washington, D.C. That's a place I could go by myself, and I could have a grand time. And would it be better if people were there? Maybe. But it's not that obvious of a group location as a place like Las Vegas or Miami or going to Phoenix, Arizona or something like that where you would want to be there with a group of people.
Yeah, depending on the atmosphere. I just, the reason I think, this is the real reason why I think solo travel would be fine for me. It's because I'm a big planner. And so whenever like me and my wife are going somewhere, then I'm the one that's by and large doing a lot of like, oh, let's look up this is the restaurants we might want to go to. This is the things we might want to hit, whatever. And then we have to cross paths and be like, okay, what do we want to do? But, and if there's something I super want to do and my wife doesn't care, she'll still usually do it. However, I would just be cool with, I'm planning this thing. I'm doing what I want to do. And I think I'd have a lot of fun doing that. But all that said, vacation with my wife. She's not even going to listen to this. I don't know why I have to cover my bases. Just want everybody to know.
I want to go. I'm fine.
I'm not saying I'm going to leave her behind. Let me ask you one more thing about like vacation destinations. And that is, where's what's the top place for you that you've never been that you want to go?
That's a good question. I don't know that I have a certain location that I really want to go to. It's like on my bucket list in the next couple of years. I really want to go out west and see some of the national parks.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't really got to explore the national parks. That's one of the few places in the U.S. that I haven't got to go yet that I really want to go see. That's
a good choice. Like Yellowstone?
I want to go see Yellowstone.
Yellowstone would be pretty awesome.
That's the big one for me. One place I haven't been there in like Yosemite. I haven't been there either.
Yep.
Either one of those two, I'd really like to go see.
Yeah, I'm curious how I do in the big sky country. Would we fit in there? For me, in the United States, it'd be Route 66. I'd like to see it because I can imagine in my lifetime that'll basically be gone.
Yep.
And so I'd like to see that. It's kind of that nostalgia. I mean, I didn't grow up in that time when its heyday, but just I love the look of it. And so seeing that kind of stuff would be something I'd be interested in, although that's also a lot of driving, a lot of wide open, empty spaces where nothing going on. So that'd be quite an undertaking. But I'm also very intrigued with Europe. And I just like to do.
Oh, you're talking out of the country.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Europe is a very vague answer, but I mean, honestly, you tell me I can go anywhere in Europe, I'd be pretty psyched about it.
To go see just the different places and stuff.
Yeah.
Because you think about so many people build their vacations the same. Like you're going to Florida, you're going to Hawaii.
Yes.
So much of it is like heading to the beach and going to places like that, to where when you go to Europe, you're just going to experience different things.
Yeah. That's a good, I was going to say, actually, that you lead me to my next point, which is I think you and I typically tend to, when we're talking about vacations we're planning or good destinations, we're thinking of either the beach or weather, because we both love that.
Yes.
Like nice weather, warm, or maybe, probably similarly, touristy stuff, like stuff to do. But everybody isn't like us, There's a lot of people that plan vacations that, we hear from them all the time, that don't care about the beach at all. It doesn't appeal to them, which is shocking to me. And I guess I understand it, but I also don't, because the beach, I just love it so much. So let me throw out a few other things that people might plan vacations around. And you give me would you ever do this vacation? If maybe one of your friends is like, we should do this. What if one of your friends is like, let's plan a vacation around outdoorsy stuff? Because a lot of people are into that. Camping, fishing, hiking, hunting, spelunking. Could you ever do that?
I don't think that would be something I would want to do with my friends. I would do that with a significant other. Okay. But I don't think for me that is something that I need to do with my guy friends.
You don't get even the idea of instead of going to the beach and relaxing, because that's what a lot of people do, the idea of going let's go out into the mountains and get a cabin or camp and relax that way. That doesn't sound nice to you?
See, it does sound nice, but I'm not doing that with my guy friends.
Yeah.
Because for me, that sounds like more of an intimate thing that I would want to do with my significant other. Yeah. To build a memory for the future. I don't need to build that memory with my guy friends. I think we would have more fun going to a beach or somewhere that has more stuff to do. Yeah. Where if I'm doing something a little bit more low key like that, yet again, I would want to do that with a significant other rather than my guys.
I gotcha. What about, all of that, not necessarily all those activities appeals to me, but the other thing, part of what I like about the beach is the nature aspect of it. Yes. And that's kind of why one of my big vacation destinations I've enjoyed is Gatlinburg. Obviously got a lot of touristy stuff going on, but the Smoky Mountains, very good nature.
That's a good mix. That's a good best of both worlds is Gatlinburg, because you get a little bit of both there.
How about this? This is similar but different. Skiing or snowboarding. Lots of people, that's a big thing for them. Gotta go where you can get some good skiing in the wintertime.
See, my brother has gone on ski trips before and snowboarding trips before. That's not my thing. Yeah. I'm not a skier or snowboarder, so therefore that knocks that out for me. Yeah. But I understand it, though. I get it. Yeah,
because that's a sport you can only do certain times a year, certain places.
In certain places, the whole picture of it, my brother sends me these pictures on these mountains. Yeah. That part of it I think is really cool, but I can't really participate in the snowboarding. Yeah. So.
I guess I imagine, I've been skiing. I've never been on a skiing trip, but I also have been to the Rocky Mountains. And so I imagine for me, it wouldn't be I want to go on a skiing trip and we're going to spend 3 days skiing, but I'll spend a little bit of time skiing and then just the rest of the time chilling out, enjoying again, because wherever you're going skiing, you're probably going to have nice nature. It's probably just going to be real relaxing. I'll hit the hot tub, that kind of thing. And I could still be talked into that trip, but I just probably wouldn't want to spend as much time on the slopes as whoever I'm with. How about this one? Conventions. Lots of people plan their vacations around that kind of thing. Comic-Con, for example. Can you imagine that? What convention would you be into?
See, my family does this every summer. That's why I'm going to Tucson.
Right. That's right.
I'm going to a toy convention, and it's epic. Because conventions are always in cool places. And so this convention that my parents do, it's always in a big city. It's always somewhere really cool. And so I've got to, the majority of the travel that I've done since I was a baby is because every year we would go to the toy convention. We'd spend a week there, and it was always held in a really cool city. I think that's the only convention I would go to because I'm not really into anything else, like Comic-Con or things like that. But that would be the only one. But I do have experience that, and it was cool.
For us, it'd be more, because I can't think of a lot of conventions either. Like, what do I like enough to go to a convention? I'm still thinking. The closest thing would have to be, like, the Super Bowl would be like a convention, for sports fans. So that's the closest thing I can think of. Obviously, that's also got a touristy aspect to it. That's the only one that comes to mind.
Well, I mean, traveling for sports is huge.
Yeah.
That's something that I'm trying to do this year is travel for some sporting events.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, I'm trying to travel for some Cavs games maybe, as those are coming in the upcoming months. I just did that this past weekend for Cavs and Browns games. I went to Cleveland.
Yep.
And that was I went up to Cleveland because I had a vacation because of sports.
Yeah.
And I went to the games. And so I want to do more of that. I know a lot of people, especially when your team, especially NFL playoffs are coming up.
Yep.
When your team plays in the NFL playoffs, wherever they're going, if they're on the road, a lot of times that's a big time for people to travel.
Huge for college football.
As well, yes.
Yeah, that is. I admire that aspect of it.
Yeah, people who travel to go to the games.
Yep, I always think that's cool. And then the last one I had was, and you've done this, but it just doesn't feel the same to me, and that's, I've done this too, music festivals.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel, even though it's something to look forward to me, and it uses your vacation time, absolutely, it doesn't feel like vacation. That's the one thing that if I go to a music festival, I think I want my vacation to like relax me in some way. And music festivals, as fun as they are, you come back more exhausted than you were when you left. So even though I just don't, it doesn't fit the same bill for me.
And I'm the exact opposite. My vacations are never relaxing. I've never returned from a vacation, even as relaxing as maybe, and feel as if I'm like refreshed or regenerated other than I got time off work. And so I like music festivals for that reason, that there's always something really fun going on. And it depends on the music festival too. Like if you're gone from a Thursday through a Sunday, that's like a true like multiple day festival where it feels more vacation-esque. If it's one day, it doesn't feel as much like a vacation. Like when I go to the Indy 500 and I'm only there for the day, it doesn't feel as vacation-y, where if I stay at least one night, now it's a vacation.
Okay.
If I spend the night, it's a vacation. If I don't spend the night, it's not a vacation, unfortunately for me.
Do you have any others that I missed that people might throw vacations around?
People might travel for?
Yeah.
What about visiting family? Is that a vacation?
I saw a study about this, that most people don't consider it a vacation. I tend to agree. It depends on what activities you're doing. I think particularly in whatever the survey I saw was about traveling for the holidays. That's not a vacation to me. If I was going back home to Maryland to hang out with my family for Christmas, that's fine. It's using up my vacation time, of course. I'm going to have a good time while I'm there. It probably will be relaxing. It's not a vacation. Because you're not having like fun, special activities that you wouldn't normally do anyways.
Well, you got to think, if you're visiting family, realistically, usually people don't live in cool places.
Yeah, that's right.
The people that do live in the cool place, like think about, I'll name a cool place, Las Vegas. If you live in Las Vegas, or if you lived in Fort Lauderdale, no one's coming to you for Christmas. You're going to Indiana.
Yeah.
You're going to Kansas, wherever you're from. People aren't from Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And if you are, you're really unique, and that's cool.
Yeah.
But usually you're leaving the cool place to go home. That's like the hometown thing for Thanksgiving. Think about how many Christmas and Thanksgiving movies have all been about going back to your podunk town and seeing your old high school crush. Like when you're visiting family, it's not usually in the coolest place. And even if it is, if your family lives somewhere really cool, they live there. So they're not trying to do all the touristy things.
That's the other thing.
If your family lives in Miami, they're not going to want to do all the Miami tourist things that you do there on vacation. And so then you're choosing between, am I spending time with my family, or am I doing the fun touristy things?
Yeah, that's tough. I feel like even in, like, we live in a city, and when I have family come, it's always a guessing game of like, well, who wants to actually go out and do stuff and who just wants to hang out, you know?
Yeah.
Because a lot of us have already done all the stuff that there is to do in the city.
And some people, and I would say too, like for me, when people come visit me, I try to be a good host. Even though I've done everything in Columbus, I lived here my whole life, I try to be a good host to where I'm like, you guys want to go here? I need to show you this and that and this. But if you come here and I'm like, I don't really been there, done that, then they don't want to like do it either.
Right.
So it all just depends on who you're visiting, how many times you've been there, and if there's anything cool.
Well, now you know it's time to, we've been giving you the tools. Now it's time to get out there, plan accordingly, your 2024 vacation time. Good luck. It's the Riot.
See you guys.